So the southern border is wide open, and it has been since January. It's almost unbelievable to say that, but it's real. And that fact has allowed cartels from Latin America to traffic women and children with total impunity. Our leaders don't care about any of this. They think they're getting new voters. They're refusing even to visit the border. But one congressional candidate in Nashville, Tennessee, is willing to go to the border. He just led a rally there that brought hundreds of people, most of them Hispanic, to the Rio Grande to demand the federal government begin to enforce its own laws. That candidate is called Robby Starbuck, and he joins us tonight. Robby, thanks so much for coming on. So you're in Nashville, but you went down to the Mexican border to lead this demonstration. Why?
Absolutely. You know, in Tennessee, we've got a rich history of going down to Texas and helping when our country needs help. First with Davy Crockett during the Alamo, and then again with tens of thousands of Tennesseans during the Mexican-American War. And the truth is, I see what's happening at the border as a crisis for the whole country. We are all border states under this administration when they're allowing this flood of people in. And I thought it was important for it to be led by Hispanic leaders. This was really my wife's idea, who's not Hispanic, Landon. But we knew it was important for us to be there and to show up and to say, this is our country, and we do not want it to fundamentally be torn apart by these people in power right now, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy America and everything that this country stands for. So even myself as a Cuban American, I felt it was so important for us to stand up and say, no more. We need to enforce our laws. We need to finish building the wall, and we need to stop this. You know, the Democrats, they made this a moral argument for a long time. And so if we just go ahead and meet them on that ground, let's say, let's stop defending ourselves when they do that. Let's go and meet them, go on offense instead of defense like these establishment Republicans who've professionally lost for decades. And let's say, what is truly immoral? I think it's truly immoral that we have policies right now that result in the worst human trafficking that we have ever seen, the worst child trafficking and sex trafficking we have ever seen at our southern border. That is what's immoral, and that's why we did it.
So our managerial class is so clueless that they imagine that everyone with the Latin last name is loyal to an ethnic group before the country and wants open borders. I'm looking at the poll numbers, and those suggest that that's not true at all, that they have no idea what they're talking about, that there's actually not much support for this among people with Spanish last names in the state of Texas. What's your view of that?
Well, it's absolutely correct. Recent polling shows only 21% of Latinos, Hispanic people approve of Biden's immigration plans. And it's because, just like everything else they're pushing out, it is a part of their Marxist plan to destroy America. They want to attack everything that we as Hispanic people and as Americans love and cherish: our family, our faith, our freedom, and futures for our kids. And so we see that not just in this immigration issue, but all across the board. It's why they're going to come to regret what they've done here, because they've woken up lions like me, ideological warriors who are fed up with establishment politicians and are saying, you know what, we're going to go do this job ourselves. I burned down a career in Hollywood directing Oscar-winning actors, actresses, some of the biggest music stars in the world, because I knew we needed people who had nothing to lose to go up there and fight for America, fight for our values and our freedom, because our people up there right now, they're not doing a good enough job.
Well, they're certainly not. I mean, they're certainly not. So do you, as you look around, I mean, you're running for office. We only have a minute left, but I'm just interested. Republicans think they're going to take the Congress back. Are there a lot of new Republican candidates who share your views and not the views of the people running it now?
Absolutely. I think we're going to see a wave of lions in 2022 who come in entirely not just inspired by what the Biden administration has done and how far left the Democrats have gone, but also inspired by saying, you know what, we're sick of these Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney rhinos who have fought for corporate oligarchs. We want a party that fights for people, that fights for our American values, and is not going to cede ground professionally for the rest of our days until our party can no longer win an election. And so that is why we are doing this. And there's going to be a wave of us, and I guarantee it is going to happen. It is going to fundamentally change the future of America, and we're going to be better off for it. And we're coming for those people in primaries, and so they better be ready. In my seat, it's not so much an issue because I'm in the lead already, but in those other seats where they have to primary a rhino, we're going to beat them, and they need to be ready for it.
Man, I hope you're right, because that would make a difference. I mean, that is part of the answer, I think, for sure. Robby Starbuck from Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tucker.
Sadly, we're out of time. It could go on forever, but we're time limited to 1 hour. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m., the show that's the sworn enemy.